Ned. What's up, baby? Don't forget, guys, we're waiting for some more people to come on into the show. If you're watching a replay, you could just skip past this and get straight to the show. I'm glad you're doing good, sis. I'm keeping you in my prayers now. Hope everything goes well for you. Hey, Spice. Hey, Tommy. Don't worry, the show is getting ready to start in 2 minutes. What's up, everybody? What is up, baby? Today, we're going to talk about what the heck is going on in Mexico. Is it safe? Do you guys still like to go? Shouldn't we not go? Or did they go to have tummy tucks? Or doesn't matter if them gentlemen had long records or not. The question is, what was they really there for? What was they really there for? And to top it off, the cartel apologized. When do the cartel apologize? Oh, we sorry? And they laughing and joking. Hey, Paula. Now, this particular video is brought to you by my man, Information Man. That's a brother that's been down for a long time. But we need to talk about this Mexico situation. The situation. So we're going to get ready to get started, right? And if y'all never been to the Information Man channel, please check him out. I tell you, he bring you that real news. Now let's start. Now we already know who this young lady is, right? Y'all know who this young lady is. And we never got to the bottom of this. Who is this young lady? Y'all know who she is. Put it in the chat. And we never got to what went down with that. And as you always see, it says black people. It says black people. We got to stop going places. We may love everybody, but everybody don't love us. Let's go.
Before I give him any super chat music is right here. You can share this right now.
Now, look at the face. Look at the faces of the guys who they claim they caught for sending a couple of people to meet their maker. Who gets caught and smile? Who gets caught and smile? Because we know this is fake. This is fake. Fake, fake, and fake. Well, we're going to investigate a little bit more. Yes, we are. Now I'm going to put this link in the chat. This is an open panel. So if anybody's coming in, it will already be in there. They're just going to have to just search for it. But this is definitely an open panel. Because we need to talk about these things too. I'll tell you, this is a different channel.
A cell phone or a desktop, all you got to do is click the little button that says share, put it in your Facebook, put it in your Twitter, like so.
Tell the truth.
He's smiling because he's saying himself live, not going to be heavy time for coming down on Americans. Under our jurisdiction in Mexico, we're part of the cartel. And check this out.
They own everything.
This is all an orchestration. I want to show you all something right here.
Thank you.
Look at them. He's smiling to the right. He's got a smile on his face. The guy in the red shirt. Here's a little bit closer look. He's got a smile on his face. Why would these guys be smiling, or one or two of them, if they really think they're in trouble, right? They're probably just glad that
And who's to say what their hands are tied with behind their back? Now, if you look at the other one, the small one right here, his arms look like he got handcuffs on it. But these other guys' arms is too long. Usually they handcuff you, if I'm not mistaken, their arms look like it's touching the ground. Look like it's touching the ground. So is this a smack in our face or what? Is this a smack in our face like key? You in our territory now, key. We ain't worrying about nothing. We ain't worrying about nothing.
Cartel didn't take their life. I guarantee you any kind of money, because this is how the cartel works. This is people who have done research on how they operate. I guarantee you any kind of money that they rounded these guys up who did this and told them, at this such and such time, you're going to drive your car out there. Look, the car's been driven out there.
Hey, Marie.
They probably were told by cartel leaders, lieutenants, or those higher up, you're going to take your butt out there on the streets. You're going to lay across the street. You're going to lay on the ground. You're going to give yourself up. They're not giving themselves up to American authorities, folks. They're giving themselves
to the Mexican authority. Exactly.
They're in prison or jail. Cartels control jails. They control the government. They control the police. They got the police in the back of their pockets. I'm going to show you video today to let you know from an expert who talks about how these cartels work and operate. This is all a psyops, ladies and gentlemen. What I mean by psyops is that this is all to make us think that, they're sorry for what happened. They give us then all of a sudden the cartels come out with a letter. Oh, we apologize. This is window dressing, folks. I'm not going to do any serious time for what they did. We haven't seen any justice for Shaquilla Robinson. I'm going to ask this one question. Has Shaquilla Robinson gotten justice in Mexico? Has there been anyone arrested? I thought someone was arrested because that's what was put out there by a Mexican reporter in Mexico. We all, as content creators that talked about this, jumped out the window. I jumped out the window, reported that that person was captured or has been under custody. I want to apologize to all of you. That if it seems like we don't know what's really going on over there with the case of Shaquilla Robinson.
Yep.
So what makes us think that these 4 black people, the 2 that were killed,
Unalived.
Woodard, Zydell Brown, I think those are the 2 that ended up being killed.
Unalived.
And Latavia and Eric Williams with the glasses in the middle, sort of middle, they're survivors. And then, of course, there was a 5th person that was supposed to go over there.
Duh. 5th person.
If you're hearing what I'm saying, folks, hit that 7 in the chat room. We're going to turn these algorithms. Something's not right here. She hasn't gotten justice, and then to get just the family members will not get justice for the 2 that were killed, and there really won't be any real justice for the 2 that have survived, Latavia and Eric Williams. Then you have to ask yourself, what were they over there for?
Mm-hmm.
They're telling us, oh, it's cosmetic surgery. That's why they went over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm putting out this one, whether you like it or not. I'm sorry.
Tell the truth.
I believe that was a smoking gun. I think they were over there trying to cut some time. I have to say allegedly. I personally allegedly believe that it wasn't about a cosmetic surgery. Yeah, that could have been part of it, but then you're bringing lots of money over there.
Mm-hmm.
The Mexican government or Mexican people that live over there that are connected to the cartel, they know that Americans, especially Black Americans, are coming over there and they probably are saying, we're going to get a lick off of you, and you're over here maybe trying to cut a deal for something.
Yep.
Now,
allegedly,
you may say, oh, come on, Infoman, let's not dirty up their background because that's what the media usually does. Yes, the media usually does this. But I'm sorry, they do have a background, and I'm saying this should have never happened to them. I'm not saying that they should have deserved to be kidnapped. I'm not saying that they deserve to be taken out of here and deleted. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is we got to use critical thinking skills and look between the lines. We're not dealing with 4 people, Black people, who were Cub Scouts or they were choir boys and girls. They've got a background. Doesn't mean that they should have been treated like this, but this is the thing. They went into another country, not under the jurisdiction and protection of the American government. So when you go into Mexico and you go into these border towns and you veer away from what you call the
tourist place,
the tourist districts, then you put yourself at risk, especially being American and especially being Black, where they have no respect for us in Mexico. They have no respect for us in America. I told you that the Mexican mafia has put a green light on Black people, particularly in the Los Angeles area with their gang structures. Nobody on these YouTube streets knows this better than me, unless you've been in prison or worked in prison or have been a part of these gangs. I know this intimately because I've been trained in how these structures work. We're talking about structures like the Black Hand. And I'm going to get into that very soon, what that's all about.
Tell the truth.
So you have to ask yourself, the cartel, use common sense, folks. The cartel usually attacks people who they feel are moving into their territory in terms of drugs. They go after people who they see as competing forces. So the news is already put out there, if you want to believe that they believe that these folks were Haitian and that they were over there to do a drug deal, or allegedly that they thought that they were a rival competition.
Hey, Tina.
That's usually when cartel members will jump out the window and try to attack you. So everyday regular people are not going to get attacked if you're not engaging in their business. And most of the people that live in these communities, they already know who the cartel members are, so they wouldn't dare take a chance. So the question is, how many of you in the chat room, by hitting a 1 or a 2, let's do it like this. If you believed that those black folks going over to Mexico and what happened to them, I'm gonna repeat this again, should have never happened at all. But if you believe that they went over there and it was just about cosmetic surgeries, and everybody's gonna risk their time, their life, and everyone's gonna take all this money to do a surgery. Wait a minute. One of them, Latavia, she's got about 6 kids. You saw them on the interview. Those kids need money to be put in their fund for college, for clothing, whatever. Why are black folks collecting a whole bunch of money to go over to another country to get some titty implants or some booty implants? Something about that don't make no sense. Or are people going to places like this to double their money allegedly through unscrupulous things?
Why you
Let me
took
give
the
you a,
3
let
men
me,
with
let me
you?
let me break something down
Look
here.
how they took the 3
See
men.
right here.
Here we go.
I'm just gonna tell it like it is,
I ain't
folks. You
seen
may
it.
not like
I
it,
haven't
but
seen
truth
this.
has to be told here. Now, on this photograph, you have Sheed Wooden. He was jailed in 2015 for drug manufacturing. So he has a rap sheet for manufacturing drugs. Black folks, I don't know why we continue to do these things and think that we can just get away with it like other groups of people who don't, when we don't have the protection or the complexion for the damn protection.
Tell the truth.
Now it's just 2015, the brother was jailed for drug manufacturing. Now I think he's one of the ones that's deceased. May God bless his soul. But he had a background. United States citizens kidnapped by Gulf Cartel. Latavia McGee, Eric Williams, Zendale Brown, Shareed Woodley had lengthy rap sheets. They traveled to Mexico accompanied by Mrs. McGee for cosmetic tummy tuck surgery when they were caught in gang crossfires. The question is, were they really going there for tummy tuck? Or was there something else? I'm just asking, folks. I want you all to be investigators too. Ask the logical question. Is what we've been told so far really what they went over there for? You're going into another country, a border town. You got all this money with you. Eric Williams. Eric Williams is the other brother who is the survivor. And I think his family has talked to him. God, he survived. Eric Williams previously busted for distributing crack near a school. That's a very horrible thing to do. Terrible. Black folks, we got to do better than this. We got to do way, way better than this.
Exactly. This is crazy.
On the right, wearing the blue shirt, that's Zendale Brown, who was also killed, was accused at one point in time of domestic violence in the first degree in July 2019, which was determined as a Nali Pro, which means abandoned. Abandoned. Let me just say this. Yes, people can do wrong things and you can try to change your life. From what I understand, a lot of these folks, and I hate to say this, from what I understand, a lot of these folks did not have a work background, a history of employment, like legitimate employment. Okay. And of course, Brother Woodley on the left, as I said, United States citizen who were kidnapped in Mexico by the notorious crime and drug syndicate Gulf Cartel have lengthy criminal rap sheets. Now, I hate to say this, but it's got to be truthful. I have to ask this question. I need folks in the chat room to work with me. I want the black women to work with me. You got 6 children. What's more important? Men, ladies, everybody listening. What's more important, damn it? Is it more important for you to get a tummy tuck, implant breasts, bootylicious booty stuff? Or is it more important for you to take all that money that you got and put it in a savings account for your kids? Put it in a trust account for your kids. The woman had 6 kids. Why are we traveling over to another country where they don't even like us, and you're going into the backwoods and the back alleys of these countries with no protection? And we already know that there's no black and brown coalition in America. And the Mexican mafia don't give a damn about no black folks. They don't even give a damn about their own people. As I told you before, at least 100,000 people are missing in Mexico. This was put out June 30th, 2020. Many victims lie in unmarked graves in the desert. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? If you're with me, hit a 7 in the chat room. Get those algorithms moving.
Get this algorithms moving, baby.
They were put in this red, whatever, out. I'm telling you, Eric Brown and Latavia are lucky to be alive. But Latavia, unfortunately, this sister was previously indicted. The sister on the left, she was previously indicted on March 3rd, 2016 on 5 counts of unlawful conduct towards a child, a daughter, her daughter, who was 8 at the time, meaning her children were taken from her at one point in time, ladies and gentlemen.
See, this is the reason why their past was reported, so no one would care about them. If they were blonde and blue, this story, I mean, yes, I agree, but we still have to hear the whole story out, because when you're not in the hotel by the doctor's office, you on the other side where them cartels be. Why are you over there? And why did you bring 3 men with you? We got to keep that in mind. When you go to certain places, believe me, B, they got a beautiful place for you to stay. Right there. Everything you need is right there. Once you go wandering off, like, how do you even know where to go? Like, where you going? Where you going? And it's the only thing that's sad is we're never going to get to the bottom of this. That's the sad part. For whatever reason that they were there, we're never going to get to the bottom of this. Because look how quick to shut us up. The cartel give us a Dear John letter. I'm so sorry. He gave us a sorry John Doe letter. And then they got these 5 men or however how many men saying, we got them. So now we supposed to shut up. Now the USA has no jurisdiction over there. So from whatever reason, far as a correct reason or incorrect reason, like I said, I'm going to drop the link if anybody want to come up. Hey, Chrissy Pooh. Chrissy, I need my song, man. What's up with my new song? You got me feeling. That's the point of criminalizing the victims. So, no, they're not going to, the same way they did not investigate Nature Nut, because that's not our jurisdiction. That happened in Mexico. So even if somebody like to come up. Ms. Ryder, if you want to come up. But when you go to these other countries, you take a risk. The snippet coming soon. And you be doing your thing, baby. I know. Don't forget, guys, hit that like. Y'all know this is a smaller channel. We need all the likes we can get, right? But you have to remember, us Black folks, you cannot just go anywhere you want to go, walk the streets anywhere you want to walk to. So we have to find out why were you there? It ain't like you was by the hospital to get the tummy tuck. I mean, even if it was a stroll, you got to be careful. That's why they name it tourist area, a tourist resort. And you got if you want to get a tummy tuck, okay. So again, we have to start asking questions. Because if I'm getting a tummy tuck, why am I bringing 3 men with me? What women usually bring a girlfriend with them. Remember, after you get that done, when you get them type of operations done, they're not going to take care of her. They're not going to be changing her bandages, checking when all that that fluid that's dripping. They're not going to be checking that. They're not going to be turning her over and cleaning her, giving her medicine or whatever. Protection from what? If people go there already, remember, they left out of the area. They in the backwoods. So protection from who? A whole country? Three men cannot help her against a whole country. No, I'm sorry. This is a whole country. What they gonna do? You cannot get you can't get on the plane with the pow pow. And even if they had a pow pow on them, picture you popping one of them. You still ain't gonna make it out of there. Either way, you're not making it out of there. She did have a girlfriend with her, but she ended up staying in the motel because she forgot. Exactly. But the thing is, it still doesn't explain what are the 3 men doing there? What? Maybe they went out there to meet their connect, Allegedly. Everything like he said is allegedly. I'ma bring a man if we're driving in. But then, even if you bring a man, if you driving in, we know we gotta stay where we could be protected. People, period. We gotta stay where we could be protected. Why you driving out? And then look, you coming up in there. You understand? It ain't like, you know, they the only ones. If it's a cell going wrong, they're not the first and they will not be the last. But it's different. Paula, like Paula said, it's different when you are a black person. It's different. So either way, if they went there for a tummy tuck or if they went there, no, it's totally different. Because if you were Caucasian, even if they did go there to do to pick up some package and drive it across the border, we would have still been outraged. But it doesn't take away the Mexican people though. They don't owe us nothing. They don't owe us no they don't owe us no what happened. I really don't think they understood appointments. Yes, Chrissy. That's why I said we don't know. But they don't owe us nothing. It happened in their country and what? And what? They don't owe us an explanation at all. At all. And this is not the first time things happen to us when we go there. But being that a lot of people started saying that we're not going to Mexico, and don't forget the cartels, they also own them hotels, them beach resorts, because you know that they gotta have some legal money coming in. They gotta have some legal money coming in. So we all saying we ain't going there no more. Now they're gonna lose money. And out of nowhere, the cartel said, "I'm sorry," and we got them. But the way you got them it's all fake. It's all fake. That's why I said we got to look into this a little deeper.
Now, that none of this, I'm not saying any of this to say that they deserved what happened to them. Oh no, I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that what is the priority? Spending money on tummy tucks in Mexico, or would it be your children? Folks, what's more important? The cosmetic surgery? I know we're born in person of us. We had more muscle, wish we had a more bone structure.
I hope not, Paula. I hope not.
Women, we all want to look beautiful. We want to be able to attract people. But what's more important? The cosmetic surgery, ladies and gentlemen? If the cosmetic surgery is more important, hit a 2 in the chat room. How dare you if you do? If taking care of those kids and using the resource is more important, hit a 7 in the chat room. I dare you again. I want y'all to see something. They got stopped. This is why you can't play around in other countries, black people. See, the problem with Americans is that when we go to other countries, we want to act like we're still American, meaning that we think that America, like we have this bubble of protection around us. That means when we walk into another country, nobody gonna touch us because, see, we American. We got this force field of protection. No, you go to somebody else's country, you need to act and behave and like the people that are there and follow their rules. This is why Negroes travel around and get themselves caught in a pickle when they travel. For any reason they want to travel, and you don't follow the rules. And then you got little individuals like this on the left side who had them captured in that barn, that red shack. You can't play around. You got to be very careful. The United States the State Department has already given us warnings about parts of Mexico. Why don't we heed these warnings? Why take a chance because you want to go over there and get a belly tuck? Look at what happened to them. They already got stuck right here. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen.
That's crazy. They're trying to hustle us. We ain't got no drugs in the car, and they trying to make us pay $1,500.
They have no drugs in the car, and they're trying to make them pay $1,500. That's right. You are American. You go into a off-beaten place in another country. In an off-beaten place, you're not in a tourist area. You're in these off-beaten places. Don't go there. You're going into areas of Mexico where the cartels are heavily defined, and you're wondering why you're getting stopped. I bet you these police that are working, that are trying to get the $1,500 out of them, I bet you they're all booed up and connected to the Gulf Cartel. And tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let's hear that again.
That's crazy. They're trying to hustle us. We ain't got no drugs in the car, and they trying to make us pay $1,500. I'm not. I'm a drug nurse, sir. That's all. OMG. That's my. I don't have any drugs, so. I can give you what I have. I don't have. That's crazy.
You hear that? She says, I can give you what I have. So they're already trying to negotiate. What's going on? House of X Entertainment, Empress Goddess. We got Mike B in the house, Fashion for Life, Jeff Johnson, 357, Sister M Mills, love you. God's Little Princess, love you too, sister. Thank you for being here. Everybody that's here, you know I really appreciate this. We got CMB Tech Talks, my brother from Brooklyn. Black American television news information. What's going on, sister? Last call, and just a lot of great people in the chat room. You hear that? She said, I'll give you what I got. So you're going over there and you're getting all strapped up. I'm telling you right now, they probably knew who these black folks were. They probably knew and had been watching them for a while and said, these Americans are coming over here and they've got money. Money that probably should be spent on children that need to be raised. The rest of this.
We got no drugs in the car, and they trying.
What did he say? What did he say?
Sorry. No.
What happened?
No.
What did he say?
And nobody can speak any Spanish. So you're already at a default. Nobody can speak any Spanish, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone is saying, or the ladies are saying, what'd he say? Because nobody can speak Spanish. So you're in another country, you can't speak the language, and you're in an area that is infested with cartel, and you're in a beacon area, and you're in a country, in a place where there is no American jurisdiction. You're under Mexican jurisdiction, and Mexico has been laden with problems. Let me give you an example, folks. Here was one of the warnings that people need to listen to, damn it. Listen to it right now. This is one of the warnings.
And the countdown to spring break is on. If you've booked a trip to Mexico, you might want to consider a new travel warning. The U.S. State Department is urging Americans to avoid these 6 states in Mexico: Colima, Guerrero, Michoacán, Sinaloa, Tamaulipas, and Zacatecas. The agency says kidnappings are on the rise and there's an increase in violence. Cartel violence erupted in January in Culiacan. That's a city in northwestern Mexico in the state of Sinaloa. It happened after authorities arrested Ovidio Guzman. He is a leader of the Sinaloa drug cartel and son of imprisoned drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman.
Tell the truth.
All right, folks, you see it right there. There is a serious problem in Mexico with how these cartels work. Once again, I'm going to tell you, this is serious reason. Let me tell you one of the reasons why the cartels do what they do right here. Kidnapping in Mexico 2021. The abduction of American nationalists is a recurring security issue in Mexico. In 2021, there were 625 reported kidnappings, down from 831 cases the previous year. Damn. It is estimated that 300 to 400 cases involve Americans, most of whom are green card holders or dual citizenship. So that means that they're kidnapping maybe people that are from Mexico who have dual citizenship, but they're kidnapping Americans, no matter what race you are, ladies and gentlemen. And usually the cartels do this type of stuff because of drug. So I'm wondering, just bear with me. I wonder if the cartel kidnapped them because like the news is saying, they thought that they were trying to move in on their drug territory, or they were trying to get a lick down there. Then you got to wonder, allegedly, were the 4 of them, and unfortunately 2 deceased now, were they really involved in going there for cosmetic surgery? If you believe it was cosmetic surgery, put a 1. If you don't believe it was cosmetic surgery, and that's just a smokescreen, put a 7. Was it really cosmetic surgery, or was it something else? When you have individuals, and I'm sorry, with the criminal background, they didn't represent the best of black people. You're not gonna like me saying this. They don't. They did not represent the best of our people. A lot of times we're being judged by people who have this sort of background. That's what black people are when we're not. Were they either going there allegedly for a tummy tuck, or was it something else that could have triggered the cartel, allegedly, just my opinion, not fact, that could have triggered the cartel to go after them? This is the reason why I asked this fundamental question right here. Why do cartels kidnap people? The kidnapping issue in Mexico is fueled by largely by Americans' insatiable drug appetite or insatiable drug demand. Some of these individuals had a past indulging with drugs and narcotics, and they don't have a history of work history. We got to use critical thinking skills here. Criminal organizations in Latin America countries rely on extensive personal and massive collection of assault rifles and assortments of firearms, most of which originated from where? The United States of America. Yes, this is where it's all coming from, because in America, we have such an appetite. We have such an appetite in America. Amendment ain't gonna take. Originating from the United States, members of these drug cartels, Mexico, use these weapons to defend their plazas. What is a plaza? It's like their territory. There's these very little things they call plazas.
And don't forget, I forgot what state that is in. They're making 800,000 or 80,000 new housing just for immigrants. They're like, before we had power because it was more of us, and they needed our vote. Once our vote is no longer needed, watch how we get treated again. Watch how we get treated again. I believe in 2021, San Diego, California, they had a blank out in the streets. It was the news, and people were warned to stay inside. Yeah, exactly. But for our folks, and they also have it to whereas immigrants can now have a driver's license. Ain't that something? If you come here, you ain't even a citizen, but you can drive. You can drive. Now, the problem with that is if they don't speak English, I know they might can drive, but if they don't speak English, these signs are written in English. The signs are written in English. See, y'all black folks just ain't getting it. Y'all just not getting it. Before we was the minority. We are not. When I'm in minority, I'm in the minority of the majority, as in of Caucasian people. So back then we spoke volumes. Now we do not. There is going to be nobody that has our interests soon. And then when they come here, they're coming to take us out, if you know what I mean. Far as job-wise, we better get on the ball. These kids better get educated, and our kids need to get on the ball. Imagine coming here. Look how many foreigners come here and drive taxis. They're not even citizens. That's why they go saying you can get your license. And we building new hospitals for you. So you make sure when you vote for me. You vote for me. And y'all could go check that out. Check it out. I may pull it up, but check it out. I had a Mexican neighbor growing up. I understand their struggles and why they came to America. The blank and trafficking ring down there is beyond scary. Baby, they doing it here. But okay, if that's the case, Chrissy, how you come here and don't like us? How do you come here and don't like us? How do you come here with hatred in your heart? They stick together, baby. They come here, they start their own gangs. They got their own rights. You come here with a hatred for us, though. So, when do people feel sorry about us? When do people feel sorry about us? Is the question. When? So these are things to think about. But we're gonna let him get back into this.
From the Mexican police or military in rival gangs. A plaza is a strategic point along, it's a strategy, it's a particular strategic point along the narcotic supply chain. So you have all these little plazas within the cartels. It's sort of like their chain of narcotic supplies, different central locations where they control certain things. For example, I wanted to show this, and should I show this now? This is what I'm going to do, because I should have put this in my system a long time ago, and I did not, but I'll come back to that. Now, let me go to this slider right here. The proliferation of crime in Mexico. The Mexican government recently announced that the number of drug-related cartel deletions in the county or in the country had declined by.
And then what make it so bad is not even the fact that we have to stick together. We just don't have a code. We don't have a code. So it's not like if you go to the corner store, I don't know how your stores are, but that's mainly ran by either Hispanics or Indian people or Chinese people, right? Everybody they hire will be their own people. They don't even have to be around one another. They know the code. They know the code. And then we are so stuck in this propaganda, and we're so stuck into like this new age hip hop music. Now you know if you ain't have all that money, they ain't thinking 2 cents about you. They ain't even thinking about you. But if you're gonna bring money, when you're gonna come there and you're gonna spend all that money going to their countries, we might tolerate you. We really don't like you, but we'll tolerate you. We are not on code with nothing. It's a shame. I don't know about other states, but I know in this state, hey, my baby Faith, welcome, peace and greetings. I know in the state that I am, I think it's only 1 or 2 black corner stores. How does people come here from all over? And we live in communities, we own nothing. We own nothing. And that's nobody's fault but ours. Because even when in the 70s, what is this cat doing? Even in the 70s, they didn't put their money together in this state, in New York State. They want, oh God, would you stop? We didn't put our money together. We didn't do business. We wanted to buy cars. We want to look good. We want to look good in everybody else's name. We didn't want to own nothing. And that is a shame within itself. Yes. Everything that we love, we don't own. God dang it, I got to spray. This cat boy, he make the stinkest poo-poo. Give me 1 second. Like I said, we have an open floor. We got an open panel. God damn it. Woo. Gee, you spray some. That damn cat. Ooh. Whoa. Woo. Shush, boy. Stop acting like you don't smell it. God damn. Move, Carter. I gotta get to spraying that shit too. Have mercy. And you gotta take that garbage out. I mean, his wee thing out. Damn, golden. You got a special kind of shit. Oh, Jesus. I am sorry, but that cat, oh my God. You see more Mex in Henderson, Nevada. Now, when Henderson was all Caucasian, they flew blacks, and California is moving in deep. We don't even have enough black businesses. No, we don't. And especially in the communities which they call poor. But you know what we rather do? We rather kick each other down all the time. That's what we rather do. You know, we rather do beef sectors. We rather have beef with each other. We want to dox each other. Sis, just think how them females smell. If, oh, goodness gracious. You know what I'm saying? We want to do, all we want to do is destroy one another. Then you have the feminine against the masculine, the men. We gotta end. They make sure we ain't never gonna get along. We ain't never gonna get along. Cause it's terrible to have a bunch of black men all day talking about women. I'm like, you can't be serious. That's what you want to do all day instead of teaching young boys about stocks and investing and trades. Now, if these men are supposed to be the leaders, why are you worrying about us old folks? Worrying about if we can get a man and we can't get a man, but you got all them young kids out there. Why you don't make, because you know what? It's no money in that. There's nobody sending super chats for that. So again, we fail our youth. We fail them. That's what we do. We keep failing our youth. Because the same way you could say, oh, well, I do this and nobody don't know, but your videos stay different. So who you really helping? Who you really helping? But they quick to say, oh, I'm doxing you, and okay, my turn. All that, we shouldn't be doing that. We should be networking, and you should be thriving. You should be thriving. I should be thriving. It's enough people to go around. And that's also a dangerous game. We may think it's cute to sit up in these panels and watch people like pull out what they call receipts, but that's a very dangerous game, especially if you got over 1,000 people in your room. All you see is numbers. What you don't realize is you don't know who these 1,000 and 2,000 and 3,000. So once you so-call yourself doxing somebody and putting up like, well, if they had any type of racket or anything dealing with the children, you so quick to put that out, not knowing that one of them people, because that happened too. I'm going to find it, and that happened too. That is a lady. She was in Clubhouse. And then next thing you know, her information got out. She had a stalker. So everybody in your room might not be on your side. Some people may not like that person, and some people may like them to the point that, see, people don't understand, baby. I don't want no blood on my hands. I don't care what. I would never endanger somebody's kids, their household, or something by giving out certain information just because I don't like you. Now, we can talk about each other all day, but once you start getting into paperwork, it's like they don't even care about the kids no more. When you give out where somebody's at or something, do you know people can go and find them? Because you don't know what them people is in your chat. They might be using you because they know you're going to get the information. They know you want the receipts. I mean, you give receipts. So I know if that person who you talking about, let's say I'm infatuated with them. You just gave me their address. You just gave me their address. But like, it's not fun and games. Now, instead of doing that to tear each other up, imagine changing the platform. Like I said, you can still talk about each other. You don't, but okay, keep it to a minimum. But far as digging in people's business, you don't win, because these people still going like them, and they people still going like them. But your mind should be on how many people in your chat. It's too many people in your chat. Where Nikki at? I seen people say hi to Nikki. I ain't seen no Nikki. Well, hello, Nikki. I don't see you yet. But it's too many people in your chat, and you don't know what they're going to do with your information. You don't know what they're going to do with your information. And then people think it's get. I know you with child. You with child. You with child, Nick. But we gotta find out when our due date is. We don't know. But people don't think about that. Well, I'm going to put this out there. Now you don't put their mama out there, this one out there. People minding their own business. And then the people in the chat like, yeah. Let's tune in. It's like, when do you draw the line? When do you draw the line and say, hey, I may cuss you out and call you all type, but I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to leave it right there. Oh, the call. My Nick. Oh, yeah, she's with child. Bye, Bobby. Bobby from the barbershop. Bobby from the barbershop got us. Got us good. You know, that's why. And then now we have, again, we're against each other. We're doxing each other. These are the things that we're doing to each other. So what would make another race give a F about us? What would make another race give a F about us? If y'all don't like each other, hell, we definitely don't like you. We're going to have no power soon. Before that, they always wanted that black vote. Hey, we got a contestant here. Hey, co-host. Faith. Speak, honey. Uh-oh. She's going to have to come back up. Let me put that link in there. My own nephew giving out my phone number to my enemies of mine, and I had to check him and change my number. He gives out my number when he gets drunk, and I had to distance myself. Try it again, sis. Try it again. Thank you. But like I said, these are the things we do to each other. And they don't get along neither. They don't get along. Everybody goes at it. But they ain't letting nobody else treat their people's dirt. We don't care what we do to each other. They see all the crap that they look at YouTube. All they see is what we do to one another. That's all they see is what we do. They don't care about, if kids are watching this. They don't care if somebody's gonna come to your house, or they're gonna rob you, or they're gonna do something to you because of the information you displayed. So, I know people like to see it, but when I do be watching it, I be like, damn, when do you draw the line? Like, what is there a line you don't cross? Because technically nobody wins. Nobody wins. And even if you're getting paid for doing it through your people and your cash apps or whatever, look at the damage that we're doing to one another. Look at the damage. Even family members, we got at each other's neck. And then the family broke. Yeah, exactly. Don't forget, Faith. If you could try it again, baby. So imagine when you go in there to other countries and stuff, even if you go in there to the cartel to do business, why should they care about you when your own people don't? Because see, if you go in there and you're messing with them Russians, baby, they're coming. You mess with them Italians, baby, they're coming. These things just happen to us. You may hear it here and there about other people. But who cares about the careless? Who cares about the careless? They like shit. They're like shit at it. Shoot. We got no respect for you. Look how you talk to your woman. And then you got the passport brothers want to go into these different countries and take their women. Faith was in. All she had to do was take off her thing. But like I said, we have to be careful. Yes, we like the entertainment, but look at what it's costing us as a people. Look at what it's costing us as a people. Because other races do not look at you as an individual. They look at you as the whole race. Same way when we speak upon an Asian person, we ain't speaking upon that one person. We're speaking upon the whole race, like the whole entire race did something. They didn't, but that's just how life is. That's just how life is. So it's bad enough we sit on YouTube, we set each other up all day, every day. That's what we do. We set each other up. And now we mad when somebody else set us up. Now we mad. Like, what happened? Again, we do it all the time. Look at Shaquilla. Her own people set her up. Every way which way you turn, it's us setting us up. And then if something happened, where our gangsters at? Where our true gangsters that's gonna come and take care of it? And every other race is gonna be taken care of, not ours. No, but they could tell you a woman that deserves to be in the house, cook ting and clean ting. They're quick to tell you that. I sat down and talking to this Asian couple, and we talked about deep. Oh, thank you, Julie. I appreciate you. And we talked about things, and I asked them why they don't like blacks. They said we do not respect one another, and that's why they do. That's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why. But it's a main reason why. They look at us all the time. They look at us all the time. When you Google people from Asia or Chinese people or any Asians, look how many videos they got against each other. I've never seen one, not saying that they're not there, but it's not like they got a whole niche for it, a whole niche for it. We got a whole niche just to disrespect each other all day. We got a whole niche for it. They ain't got a niche for it. No other race has a niche for it. But we do. We do. We got that niche to talk about each other all day, every day. Set each other up. We endangering each other. When you dox somebody, what do you think you're doing? When you're putting up their jail this, oh, so you blank out a couple of things, but you're still setting that person up. Because now that's going to make them look into it and find out where this person lives, where their address is at. Thank you for showing me they got paperwork. But, you know, we see it as, hey, I won the argument. I won. Okay. Okay.
3.6% down from the 33,739 cases reported to previous years. Do you hear that? 33,000 people. Despite this marginal improvement, crime in Mexico is an epidemic that's not going anywhere anytime soon.
You heard that?
Tell the truth.
You heard that?
And this is why we as Black people, we can't just be traveling around in these kind of places where there's already been a warning put out there by the state departments, and we're traveling into these uncharted areas that are not areas designed for tourism.
You hear
and
that?
we're just going to drive into these areas because we want to get a tummy tuck, a breast enhancement, or a booty enhancement, or maybe you trying to get a lick down there in the drug game, allegedly. Now, the proliferation of these gangs also mean that these criminal enterprises have more costs to meet, and therefore they require more funding. The domino effect is that the number of kidnapping for ransom has also increased due to this issue. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, do me the greatest pleasure and make sure you subscribe to this channel if you have not. Like the video, share the video in your social media. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Going on, my brother. Thank you for coming over. I appreciate you. Appreciate you wholeheartedly, my man. Make sure you check out Lisa Says What. She has a channel. I want this
And Lisa be around, boy. I see you, Lisa.
to get more support. So definitely check her out. Like I said, brother DOD, good to see you back in.
Yeah, it's good to see you, my brother. Welcome back, DOD.
He has a channel, I think it's Black News. Subscribe. He really puts it report. And here we go.
South of the border in Mexico today, and it comes, of course, after those 4 Americans were kidnapped. two of them. Today, 5 alleged members of a notorious cartel tied up and left in public for all to see. And authorities believe it was the cartel itself handing over those 5 suspects. A note left on the windshield, the cartel apologizing for the deadly attack on Americans. And late today, the bodies of those 2 Americans who died in the attack arriving back in the United States. ABC's Matt Rivers in Mexico City again tonight.
Tonight, nearly a week after that horrific kidnapping of 4 Americans that left 2 of them dead in a Mexican border city, a notorious drug cartel is allegedly taking responsibility. In these photos from a source close to the investigation, the Gulf Cartel appearing to hand over the 5 members they say did it. The 5 men found tied up near a truck with guns, ammunition, and body armor at the same spot in Matamoros where the kidnapping took place. Plus, a note on the windshield purportedly signed by the cartel references, quote, 4 kidnapped Americans, 2 of which died, adding, quote, we have decided to deliver those involved and directly responsible. The 5 men now in state police custody. Authorities not confirming whether these 5 were involved, but multiple Mexican law enforcement.
I want to let you know that who you think run that state police. They've got all types of cartels throughout Mexico. The cartels run the damn state police too. They got all sorts of folks in the state police. These guys are not going to do no heavy time. In America, the United States government has no jurisdiction. The crime, the situation was committed in Mexico, not in America. So this will not be in an American court. It will be in a Mexican jurisdiction.
Sources close to the investigation tell ABC News the cartel note is believed to be legitimate. Neither ABC News nor U.S. officials have been able to verify the note's authenticity.
I think they're doing it to take heat off of themselves. I do think this was their intent, was to sort of ease the pain as far as what pressure may be placed on the cartel as time goes on.
That was really something to say to witness that image today. Matt Rivers back with us tonight. And Matt, this notion that the cartel itself turning over these suspects, really a stark reminder of what we know from all of our reporting through the years of the power of these cartels.
No question. And the Gulf Cartel is among the most powerful criminal organizations in the entire country. And if they did, in fact, turn over some of their own, knowing they would be detained by police, not worried about what those suspects would then say during interrogation, David, I think it says a lot about this group's power, both in Matamoros and beyond.
Well, you would know Matt Rivers, who has reported from Mexico for years, Matt.
In South Carolina overnight, an emotional vigil near the victim's hometown. Family members of one survivor, Latavia Washington McGee, expect the mother of 6 back home soon after a trip to Mexico turned into a nightmare.
That's the key thing right there. She's a mother of 6. Now, I understand that people want to improve the way they look, hair, body, the whole 9 yards. This is the world that we live in. I'm just saying this as someone that's a father myself, it's more important to invest that money in your children's future than trying to enhance booty, breasts, and all this. It's not a necessary surgery. It's a surgery of your choice, but it's not a life and death circumstance. But then their life became life and death walking over into one of these dusty Mexican border towns, which if you do some research, that's where these cartels thrive.
Her mother, Barbara, telling CNN her daughter, her longtime friends. And from where kid. This as new video unveiled a startling twist.
Mexico, here we come.
Video live streamed on Facebook.
That looks like that's Eric Brown. He's one of the survivors.
Another woman also made the border with because she did not have proper documentation. Lauren spoke to the Associated Press, saying at a motel, and they were supposed to return 50. As time went on, and spoke to a for who did cross, authorities show the gunman traveling within fire. The travel documents, luggage, cards, and cash that investigators found inside the vehicle. In the aftermath of the attack, Mexican.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. Debit cards and cash. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go back. Let's move that video back. Right there. Debit cards.
Oh, God.
look.
Hey, Gary.
Ladies and gentlemen, bear with me here.
What's
Like I said, you
Shantae?
may agree or disagree with what I'm saying. We got 4 black folks. You're going into Mexico. You're not going into the tourist areas. You're not going into the areas where there's other tourists like yourself. You're going into the back alleys of Mexico, in border towns where you have cartel control, drugs and stuff going on. All these individuals have not the best background or even a work history, and bringing cash money, multiple debit card. Now, I understand when people travel, you do need to have some way to have access to money. I get it.
Mashante Poo.
But I'm just saying, I wish they never made this trip. Let's continue on. I just, that was something that just caught my attention.
Debit cards and cash that investigators found inside the vehicle. In the aftermath of the attack, Mexican authorities.
You have to ask yourself, how much was the so-called tummy tuck? And this is another thing. God, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting a little excited here because I want to say this to you. Why? Anybody in the chat room, tell me if I'm wrong or right. Have we got any reports from anybody in the news or any authorities that have interviewed the so-called doctor or medical personnel in Mexico that they were going there to get tuck? Where is the, so if they were going there to get a tummy tuck, cosmetic surgery, that was the goal. Have they found any document records that that's where they were going? Is there a Mexican doctor or whoever does the procedure that has an appointment book where they were expecting them? Or was this just a drop-in situation? See, that's what I'm saying. Will the evidence come out that that's exactly what they were going there for, allegedly? Has anybody in the chat room, those of you listening, because God is my witness, have you heard any of those extra details yet? Just a thought. Because they're going to do an investigation. Now, is Mexico going to do that type of thorough investigation? I don't think so. That's my... They're not even doing a great investigation as it relates to Shaquilla Robinson. We're getting no answers there. You see, let's hear the rest of this.
Scrambled to several different hospitals for days, trying to track down victims.
So check this out. This is key. They went to several hospitals trying to track them down. In Mexico, do they take appointments? So if any of those hospitals, they were scheduled for a time, I would think that they would have a schedule. That's if they're going to go to a real legitimate hospitals or doctor clinics. They went for days and days trying to find them and didn't get any answers at all these different clinics in the area. They have a so-called record of some.
The question is not the fact that she was going to get a tummy tuck. She could have been. But what was they doing in the back road where the crime is at? with all of that money in credit cards. You know for a fact you cannot travel all them places with all that money and all them credit and debit cards. Tourists know that already. That's something tourists know. They tell you when you go out of state, you know, especially if you ain't got no bodyguards or nothing, you ain't gonna go to a place where people have nothing, because they're gonna get you. So they tell you, you know, wear your regular flip-flops, wear regular clothes, and do not keep money on you. Do not keep money on you. And if you got a debit card, make sure you take the one with the smallest amount with you. Just in case they make you go to a bank and clean you out, it'll be a smaller one. See, Tina, people say that, but they ain't going to support each other. We ain't going to do it. That's like I promote Miss Leo all the time, and she does great work, but people don't really support. And I'm like, damn, you getting custom made everything. See, what they should have done and what they did is two different things. What they should have done and what they done is two different things. But Gary, hold on now, because we want to keep this on the topic, Gary. We want to keep this on the topic. We want to keep this on the topic. That's another whole topic. Keep some money on you. I mean, that'll be very little. Very little. But people, and then what was they doing in the back roads? Like, who was they going to meet? Like, how did they get directions there? Miss Leo always popping her butt in. Oh, hey, baby. The question is, okay, she went to get a tummy tuck before, but where did they get directions? Where would you get directions to go to where they was going? And where was they going? That was not the doctor's office. That was not the doctor's office. That was not the hospital. That was on the back road. Who was the contact that they were supposed to see? And then if she's getting a tummy tuck, you in there, you stay for a day or two, and then you're out. You're out. So if she went there, then GPS, but GPS to go where, Paula? Where are they going? Like, what are you putting in the GPS? What are you putting in there? The GPS giving you directions to go where? See, these are the questions that need to be asked. These are the questions. GPS just, okay, what did you put in? Like, was it a restaurant? Was it a club? You're not from there. That's if they went strictly for a tummy tuck, Shantae. That's only if they went strictly for a tummy tuck. So, again, where were you going? What was you doing? And there's one girl and 3 men. And the other lady, she ain't even there. What was the purpose? Allegedly, I think so too, Shantae. Allegedly, I think so too. Remember, that's allegedly. And then you out at night, you ain't got no tourist guide or nothing. You ain't go out there to be going nowhere but to get your tummy tucked and go home. That's it. You in a car going where? To meet up with who? And even when they spoke, the daughter, when they was on the telephone, it wasn't like the daughter said, we're going to hear from her. We're going to hear from her. So we will be staying on top of this case. We will be staying on top of this case. Hey, Badiri. Welcome, baby. Welcome.
Some type of appointment. Wouldn't one of these doctors or people who work down there come out and say something? Well, maybe they wouldn't say anything. Why? Cartel. They would be afraid that the cartel would retaliate against them. It's the same thing that we got in some of our black communities where we have a no snitching rule.
Welcome.
Don't snitch. Them people out there in that particular community are not going to snitch and say anything because they don't want the cartel to come down on them
or their family.
Okay, so Deborah Gunn, let me pull her up. Thank you for putting that out there. Deborah Gunn has just said that she heard on the news that the doctor called the woman to confirm the appointment. So there was a legitimate appointment for the tummy tuck, according to what the news, allegedly. Okay. I still think there was something else going on in that trip besides just a tummy tuck, but that's just my opinion, allegedly. Let's continue this right now.
Before finally locating all 4 inside this wooden shack.
Look at that.
After speaking with one victim family, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham promising,
we're going to unleash the fury and might of the United States against these cartels.
Morgan,
I want to stop it right there, and I want to say this. Personally, the cartels have been horrible. But what did I do earlier by the carve is because the sensational appetite of America. America has an appetite for the drugs. Therefore, the cartels are simply supplying the demand. If we as a country would stop being so drug dependent, so drug addicted, there would be no cartel because they wouldn't be able to sell their drugs because nobody would be interested in using the drugs. It is the American society, America, that contributes to the fueling of the drug desire because they're pushing the drugs to America.
Shantae,
we are the
That's what
America
I say.
is the drug addict.
Tell the truth.
America is the drug addict. America is the drug addict. Let's go to the next video I want to show you. This is one of the updates here, ladies and gentlemen.
We begin our report with the kidnapping of 4 Americans in Mexico. 2 of them are safely back on U.S. soil. The other 2 are dead. The victims were found in a rural area east of the northern Mexico border city of Matamoros. The other 2 survivors were returned to the U.S. Tuesday. Mexican officials say one of them was injured. Omar Villafranca is in Brownsville, Texas, with the latest.
2 Americans who survived being caught in a shootout and kidnapped by cartel guns. The hospital. Moved them to.
And I had called him Eric. It's Eric Williams. Bit of a slip there on my part.
Did you hear the house they was caught in? What are y'all doing over there? What are y'all doing in the trap house? What was it doing for a trap house? And why would a cartel pick up broke people? Why would they go through that for broke people? Now, if we're talking about regular people and getting robbed and maybe kidnapped or whatever, I can see. But these guys make millions of dollars. Why would they go through all of that for people who ain't got no money? They just pick them out of nowhere, no ransom, no nothing. Not even a letter.
Now I got my brother, the real question, everything, the five, for the so it's good for to you, brother. There we go. That you hear some of his knowledge. Make sure you check out his channel, subscribe. Thank you for coming over. We got Kim Bling Bar here. This is another sister that I want you to check her channel. It's just a thought.
$50 million. 38-year-old Williams, a husband and father, was shot.
And over $250 million has been dropped into their economy. Dollars is spent. 1 million Americans last year traveled into Mexico for these kind of procedures. And over $250 million has been dropped into their economy. Imagine what that money could do for our communities, and our own damn country. It's just a thought.
$50 million. But it's to survive. From North Carolina. Didn't want to show her face, but says she talked to her husband today.
Did he tell you anything about that moment at all?
No, we didn't discuss it because it was to hear his voice. It was just a lot of crying. My son was there, and my son just wanted to hear his voice and had to go because he was going into the hospital.
CBS News has learned that McGee had been to Mexico before cosmetic surgery. Investigators are blaming the Gulf cartel. Authorities have also announced a 24-year-old has been arrested in connection with this attack. John?
Omar, is there any word on the recovery of the deceased victims?
It's not going to be available for their.
More information now about a fifth person who almost joined the 4 Americans who were kidnapped in Mexico in that minivan. The group all grew up together, according to the wife of one of the survivors. They were from South Carolina, where the local community held this vigil last night. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky is near the southern border in Brownsville, Texas. He's following this for us. Morgan, we just learned that the cartel sent a letter to the Mexican police. What do we know?
Yeah, Kate, this is a wild development here that's just happening in the last hour or so. These have been photos and a picture of a letter that is now circulated on social media. I do want to credit my colleague Ken Delanian for just confirming through a senior law enforcement official who told NBC News that this letter does appear to be a statement of apology from the Gulf Cartel, which of course resides primarily in neighboring Matamoros, just across this international bridge, Kate. I want to read you a portion of that letter and then talk about the several photos that accompanied it. But this was a letter that appeared today on behalf of the cartel, saying in part that they strongly condemn the events of Friday, March 3rd, of course, that being the date of this horrific kidnapping last week, in which unfortunately an innocent working mother died. That was the Mexican national, Kate, and 4 American citizens were kidnapped, of which 2 died. For this reason, we have decided to hand over those involved and directly responsible for the events, who at all times acted under their own determination and indiscipline and against the rules in which the CDG has always operated. That acronym standing for the Gulf Cartel. So, Kate, essentially the larger organization disavowing a faction within it. And we saw photos of multiple men sitting tied in front of a pickup truck. Very important to note here, Kate, we do not have confirmation that those men have been taken into custody by Mexican law enforcement at this time. But we have a senior law enforcement official in the United States saying that he does believe this letter and believes photos released by the cartel are indeed real. Much more to come, though. Kate?
Yeah, this is really a big development, and it really raises...
Tell the truth.
Okay, we're back. Wow, this is something else, folks. Let's go into the next video, and I appreciate you, all of you. Definitely share the videos I was saying before. Appreciate you. Oh, don't go away. Let me just go right to it now. Let me not waste any time. Let me let you hear what Judge Joe Brown had to say. He was a guest on The Real Dana. Love Dana. She's been on this platform. We've gone back and forth with each other on panels in the past. I love her. She on her channel, Judge Joe Brown is a fixture on her channel. He comes on there and they have discussions about a variety of issues. Of course, he does say things that are controversial, but I want you to hear what he
exactly.
says.
I'm sorry. Exactly, Shawnee Pooh.
And this is why this is all going to be hush puff. These cartel members are not going to get any. Let's just hear what Judge Brown is saying right now. What The Real Dana
seem to be responsible. You have them.
Fair use for
Mexican
education.
Authorities. Again, we've got the same thing that's already happened before. The crime got committed in Mexico. What is America's jurisdiction to deal with the crime? None. So the bottom line becomes, what is Mexico going to do about it? Let's see how Mexican justice works out. And
okay, so this is what I'm saying. This guy here, he's smiling. They're not worried because the Mexican government or Mexican officials, what they're going to do about it is nothing.
Well, that may not be why they're smiling. If you take Tijuana 2 years ago for the year in question had 2,700 firearm related fatalities.
I don't know, Shawnee.
2,700 killings, not counting the ones by knife and anything else. So maybe what they're smiling about is we're still breathing and we can do this time. See, the time will be done in Mexico. There is no basis for an American extradition because no crime was committed on American soil. We don't have a connection with it. It's like, for example,
that's what I've been saying.
If somebody killed tourists in America, would America extradite an American citizen to Mexico to get tried by the Mexican authorities, or would they try that person here in the United States? Answer, they try the person here in the United States. I don't know where some of these folk get the idea that we can just come in and run roughshod over everybody and take over their law. See, we don't have any jurisdiction in Mexico. And this whole dodge about we want to declare these groups to be
no jurisdiction
terrorist organizations. Well, we've been subsidizing them for a long time. And there are various reasons why, from raising funds for black ops.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you just hear what Judge Joe Brown just said? Hit a 7 in the chat room if you did. What did he just say? He said the United States has been subsidizing these cartels for a very long time. What did I say earlier in the program when I brought up a chart in which I showed that how the cartels thrive? They're thriving because of what? America's hunger, sensational act. The kidnapping issues in Mexico is fueled largely by America's insatiable drug demand. Criminal organizations in Latin American countries rely on extensive personal and massive collections of assault rifles and assortment of firearms, most of which originated from the United States. And you just heard Judge Joe Brown tell you that America subsidizes some of this bullshit. Can you believe that?
Well, we've been subsidizing them for a long time. And
tell the truth.
There are various reasons why, from raising funds for black ops.
For black ops, that's right.
Things that were supposed to be directed toward fighting commies and now international terrorism and all of that other.
Tell the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Information Man Show. And like I say, I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not.
Tell the truth.
You're going to get facts over here. You're going to get examination over here. You're going to get analyzation. You're going to get critical thinking skills. You're not beefing over here. You're not getting low-hanging fruit over here. And you're not getting poor production. If any of you all saw those Netflix movies about the narcos, the Cali cartel and the Colombian cartel, they were rivalries against each other.
Thank you for the super chat.
And let me put about the Gulf cartel. Fantastic, brother. Fantastic. Let me continue.
Territory. Under Chicago, they began grabbing a larger portion. Proceeds then are really what helped the Mexican cartels grow. Many years. In a lot of the other cartels, we have people who moved from Sinaloa, Juarez cartel, or the Arellano Helix organization in Tijuana. And so they've kind of been outsiders coming in. But with Gulf cartel, we have families that are really entrenched in the community. They really are related to many people in the community, and that gives them support. And so
the very thing to recognize that they are connected to the community. This is why they were able to run up on those black folks in the way they did, because they're connected to the community. This is why they could run up on them in broad daylight. If you notice, this happened in daylight, ladies and gentlemen. This didn't even happen at dark time. It happened in daylight. And you didn't see anybody stopping them when they did to them. Two black, Zeldell Brown, no longer with us, I believe. Wooden to the far left of the thumbnail, who has had a history of manufacturing drugs, in 2015 was arrested. He's no longer with us. Eric Williams is alive, surviving with Latavia. They're the two survivors. And then there was a friend, the fifth person, a young lady who I have video on, and you're going to hear from her today. Just wanted to bring that up one more time. They have deep connections into their community.
Also hard to really kind of root them out. And they've been involved in this smuggling, really for decades and decades. Well, one of the things that has happened really over the last couple of years is the Gulf cartel's been hit very hard. First, they had to split with Los Zetas, and that hurt them incredibly because Los Zetas were a very large part of the cartel and really were their enforcement arm. Of course, they also have suffered the loss of several very important leaders, guys like Tony Tormenta and several others who have really hurt the organization as far as leadership goes. So because of this, they've really fragmented. And really at this point, we're still struggling to see if they're really a unified, centralized organization, or whether they split into kind of these smaller clans and families based upon the smuggling plazas of Reynosa and Matamoros. So it seems like they're becoming much more localized, much less powerful, and they're really more threatened by their outside rivals, such as Los Zetas, and they're more reliant on the help of their outside allies, such as Sinaloa Cartel. So things could kind of unwind pretty rapidly for them as this year progresses.
Tell the truth.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here I want you to see the family members. That is a breakdown of the cartel, but I want you to see, this was on Don Lemon. It was a shame. You can see the children. She has 6 children, and at one point in time, her kids were taken from her due to something that happened. Unfortunately, this is Latavia. That's where the criminal background is for her with kids. But I just feel like when you have children, you should be putting money and resources into your children rather than getting surgeries that you don't need.
Oh, we're going to stay on it.
In order to
We're going
live.
to stay on it,
You
Julie.
want it. You don't need it, but you want it because of how it might make you feel to have a smaller tummy or bigger breasts or smaller, whatever the case may be. But these are not life-threatening. These are not life or death surgeries that you have to have them or you're not going to live tomorrow. The family, the children, and I believe this is Latavia's mother. And I felt very uncomfortable with this interview because the children were a little restless. And I didn't think it looked good to have young children hearing about. I mean, we want our kids to know reality, right? But I just didn't think the way they're talking about these people being deleted and what happened, and you have the young children there, and their minds are young, their brains are not fully developed. They won't really understand what's going on, and you got them sitting up there in the seat, listening to this. I just didn't like it wasn't a good look. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen.
Also with us is Amani Washington, Latavia's 13-year-old daughter, and along with Latavia's sons, Cadence McGee and Junior. They are joining us for their first live interview. And I'm happy that you guys are here to bring light to this. I'm sorry about what happened. Barbara, good morning to you and everyone. Have you spoken to Latavia? And if so, how is she doing?
Good morning. She was doing okay. I talked to her last night.
What'd you guys talk about?
And doing hospital and how they had it in that little place, and it was stank with the her brother in there, and all of them was hospital and little thing together, and they were moving her from place to place.
Did she understand? Did they understand what was happening to them at the time?
No. They were driving through, and a van came up, and when I shooting at she said the other was try to shot same time. Shaheed and
Expire.
15, and I had him ever since then. And Latavia, he was in the house, and so she checked him as his brother, her brother, which is her cousin, but it's her brother and her cousin. It's my nephew and my son. And he was a good person, and I miss him. I love him, and nothing I wouldn't do for him.
Were you watching? Did you see the video on the news?
Yes.
What was going through when you?
What? A lot of bad stuff. Bad stuff.
Amani?
When they throw my daughter on that church, that's where.
Go on, Barbara. Sorry, you were saying what?
You can tell that the children are restless, and they don't really, other than the older young lady to the far left, the two children, the young little boy and little black little girl, they're so young they don't know what's really going on. They may hear what's happening, but it doesn't mean that they have the mental ability to process it all. I just don't think that I would have children that
Thank
young
you, love.
hearing this sort of, it's just so much to take
Appreciate
in,
you.
and they're on television and they're kind of restless, and I don't like it. How do you all feel about it in the chat room? I don't know.
No, sir. Especially when I saw them throw my daughter up on that truck and shade on it. They just grab them and throw them up on like trash. They throw them on the trucks, and I didn't like it, and I wanted to go to her.
I didn't like it either. They threw them on the trash.
Mamani, you saw it. You must have been worried about your mom. What were you thinking?
I was just thinking, like, why did they get kidnapped and stuff like that?
Yeah. Do either of you know about what happened and why? Because they believe at this point that it is a case of mistaken identity. Have they told you anything beyond that? Have you spoken to the authority, Barbara?
Welcome, Deanna. Hey,
About
sweetie.
the kidnapping?
Yeah.
I talked to someone that was asking me a question about when it first, I guess after day 2 after it happened, and he was asking me something about it, and I told him, he was asking me a question about Latavia and that she was in danger.
What are you hoping comes out of this? I know no one can bring your life.
See that the young lady in the yellow, she doesn't know what the hell's going. She's not processing any of this. She's restless, just like her little brother. I don't think that the two younger children should have been sitting on this couch on this interview. I just think it's inappropriate. I think that they need to be, they need to process this, and this needs to be handled privately, not on freaking television. And then Don Lemonhead should have probably told her to let the and CNN ain't gonna do a damn thing for these folks. They just exploiting the situation.
I could barely hear what she's saying, Julie, but I'm gonna rewind it, okay? I will rewind it. I don't know what the heck. The oldest daughter looked like she knew something. Cause I'm like, if you look at the radiator is all messed up. The house is all messed up. But you're gonna spend money for a BBL so you can look good. Like, what type of job did you do that you could say, F the house, I need a new body. But F everything going on in that house. I thought the same thing. The kids should not have been there. Don't forget, guys, take this time out and hit the like. Hit the like. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe like right now. Like right now. Hit that like and subscribe. Oh, Tina. Well, alrighty, baby. You have a beautiful night. Beautiful night.
And nothing I wouldn't do for him.
Were you watching? Did you see the video on the news?
Yes.
What was going through your head when you saw it?
What? A lot of bad stuff. Bad stuff.
Okay.
Now look, guys. She said, what do you think about when you saw the video? She says, bad, exactly. They know when you're lying. She said bad stuff. Lots of bad stuff. Why would she say that? Why is the older daughter sitting up there smiling? You're right, Deanna. Absolutely correct. And I know for a fact, if that would happen to any of my children, I would be a nervous wreck. I would be a nervous wreck. The whole house would be a nervous wreck. So they're giving me the impression that they've been through this before. Allegedly. They allegedly been through this. Look at the girl's face on the side. Why your eyes are up with a smile? The other boy is stretching and yawning. Even if there's no tears, she just too calm for me. Exactly. She too calm for me. I'm not sitting down gathering no family. I ain't get all this. Don't forget, guys. Information Man is like a brother. He's very good channel. Oh, I was wishing he'd pop in here so y'all could go check him out. But, woo, this just doesn't fit right with my soul. But we don't know, and we're going to stay on it.
When they throw my daughter on that church, that's for.
Go on, Barbara. Sorry, you were
Yes.
saying what?
You can tell that the children are restless, and they don't really, other than the older young lady to the far left, the two children, the young little boy and little black little girl, they're so young to not, they don't know what's really going on. They may.
Look at the house. Look at the radiator. Look at the room. They got a bin with clothes in it. They don't even have a bigger couch. They're on the small couch. They're on the small couch. All of them crunched up on a small love seat. Hey, Miss Apples, how you doing, sweetie? They are all on the small couch. So which means the house don't even have no furniture. The house all effed up. And again, you're going to Mexico to do what? That money should go in that house. The mother knows more than what we think. Y'all see what the house looked like, right? Y'all see? Then 5 of you guys go. 5. Ain't that much friendship in the world. You want to go get a tummy tuck, and you're going to take 3 men and 2 women with you. You may take 2 friends, but you ain't taking 5 friends with you. You're not taking 5 friends with you, or 4 if you include her. I'm not taking 3 guys and another female friend. They all want to help you. They all want to like rub your legs and rub your back and rub your butt and rub your belly. I think the oldest is mama to the babies. Grandma just sleeping there. Could be. But again, I would be frantic out of my mind if that was one of my kids. I'd have like, she only went there for, this is so not fair. This is not right. She just went there for a BBL, and then my child get kidnapped, and she saw her friends get popped, and then it was in a hostage situation. And then she said, what do you think? She said, bad, real bad.
Hear what's happening, but it doesn't mean that they have the mental ability to process it all. I just don't think that I would have children that young hearing this sort of, it's just so much to take in. And then they're on television and they're kind of restless, and I don't like it. How do you all feel about it in the chat room? I don't know.
When I saw it, throw my up on the trucks and shite on it, they just grab them and throw them up on like trash. They throw them on the trucks, and I didn't like it, and I wanted to give it to her.
I didn't like it either. They threw them on the truck like trash.
Mamani, you saw it. You must have been worried about your mom. What were you thinking?
I was just thinking, like, why did they get kidnapped and stuff like that?
Do either of you know about what happened and why? Because they believe at this point that is a case of mistaken identity. Have they told you anything beyond that? Have you spoken to authorities at all, Barbara?
About the kidnapping?
Yes, ma'am.
I talked to someone that was to ask me a question about when it first, I guess after day 2 after it happened, and he was asking something about it, and I told him, he was asking me a question about Latavia, that she was in danger.
What are you hoping comes out of this? I know no one can bring your life.
See that the young lady in the yellow, she doesn't know what the hell's going. She's not processing any of this. She's restless, just like her little brother. I don't think that the 2 younger children should have been sitting on this couch on this interview. I just think it's inappropriate. I think that they need to be, they need to process this, and this needs to be handled privately, not on freaking television. And then Don Lemonhead should have probably told her to let the
Don Lemonhead.
And CNN ain't gonna do a damn thing for these folks. They just exploiting the situation as they always do. They don't give you the deeper context to what's going on. I feel bad for the mother. I feel bad for the family members that lost their loved ones. I feel bad for what happened to them. But I also want to say to Black people, we got to beware. This is the thing. Black people should have the right to travel and go where we want to go. We should be able to do that without any harm coming to us or anybody. But Black people, wherever we go in the world, we're usually a target. And there's no Black and brown coalition. We don't have any agreement or understanding or brotherhood with those folks in Mexico. They don't give a damn about it. Like I said, you're dealing with a country that doesn't even give a damn about their own people. They kidnap, they snatch women up in Mexico like nothing. People go missing in that are Mexican people that get harmed every day by the thousands, and nobody cares. So they're not going to care about Black people coming into their country. Therefore, which is why Shaquilla Robinson has yet to get justice or her. And I doubt this situation here, if it's going to be just as swift for them.
Loved ones back.
And 5
But what are you hoping
mistaken
happens from
identities.
here?
5 mistaken identities.
I hope they get all of them and put them all in jail.
Huh?
Whoever did it.
That's it.
Tell the truth.
Put every one of them that has something to do with it, I want them locked up.
They had a
Amani,
committee
have you had a chance to speak to your mom?
Yes.
What did you talk about?
All I did was say hey and told her that I missed her and I was ready for her to come home.
She said, sit down.
Folks, I
You
didn't
don't
like
wanna
that.
sit down.
You see that the young girl, she's a girl,
Exactly.
in the yellow Gap outfit is getting up because she's restless. Maybe she's getting up because she doesn't want to hear any more of this.
Exactly. So we're not supposed to listen. You guys we could take our chances. But the thing is, if you are going to travel, stay where the tourists is at. If you on a resort, stay on a resort. If you're gonna go out, they have like certain criterias for you to go. Criterias. They got certain things set up where you can go out. That's what I'm saying. They not shooken up. Not a one in the yellow. She look a little shooken up. And then the way she grabbed her and told her to sit down on national TV, I would never. I'd have been like, okay, baby, go breathe. Or, she grabbed her arm. Yes, do your research before you go. And if you do go and you're going on a resort, stay on the tourist part, the resort part. Stay there. Sorry, Black people, you can't go wherever you want to go. I usually visit expat community, so he might be right. It's usually Americans. Yeah. Because you got to remember, they set up like a program for things for you to do. That's what they do for tourists. They give you an itinerary, right? They give you an itinerary, and you can go, go with what you're supposed to do. But that's not why she quote unquote was there. She was there for a tummy tuck. But you brought 4 people with you. 2 scary looking guys. And another girl, another guy. You wasn't scared. And then they said mistaken identity. 5 people. You mistaken them for 5 people. So you trying to say some black guys was there before? Listen carefully. If this is a mistaken identity, what you trying to say that some black guys came there before and got you, and they look just like you, and they came right back to where you're at? Is that what you're saying? Mistaken identity for 5 people? So who was the people that was there before? Was it 5 other black people there? Was it 1 lady and 4 men there? 2 ladies and 3 men there before that got you and left, and you figured they came back, we're going to get them. I'm not getting this story at all. Exactly. She is over it. I'm not getting this story at all. You're not going to fake identity me. So who was the other black people that was over there that went there messing with the cartel? That looked just like y'all? What is in her tummy? Fat. Fat. You're supposed to stay in a hotel. You go to the doctor. You're supposed to be getting your sleep. Y'all rented a car. Y'all driving all around. You're supposed to be in your bed, getting some rest, and getting ready for your surgery. Ain't that what people usually do? They get some sleep because they worried about the surgery. Why y'all out there where the cartel is at? Why? I'm telling you, we're gonna stay on this case. I mean, this is a tragedy. This is a tragedy. And the mother looked like, damn, that went wrong. Not saying that she is. This is all alleged. I don't know nothing. I don't know how she feel. Everybody handles grief differently. But I would never put, you seen when she put that girl arm back? I would never did that on national TV. Yank her arm back like that and make her sit down. She did her TV appearance already. We don't know what time was the appointment, Shawnee Pooh. We don't know. We don't know. That's what we're going to have to find out. Now, the daughter got to sit back and explain these things, too. Don't worry, guys. We almost finished. We are almost finished.
This. Maybe it's doing something to her to hear all this tragedy. These are kids. Their brains are not fully developed. Because your children shouldn't have to listen to this right now. It's going to take them a while to process what happened to their mama. We're looking at kids that the mother lost custody or some sort at one point in time. I wouldn't be surprised if the mother that you see over to the right has the main custody of these children. If y'all disagree with me, I have no problem if you disagree with my point of view here. I just don't think, we don't think about that. We just think about when we have children, we just say, hey, do as I say, not as I do, just set your butt down. Maybe the child can't handle what they're hearing and don't want to hear it no more because it's affecting them emotionally. If y'all get what I'm saying, hit a 7 in the chat room. If you don't, I'm not holding nothing against anybody here. We all got free will in our own minds, but I don't like it. It's a bad look.
Listen,
It's
I
on
don't.
television.
I can't begin to imagine when families go through situations like this and your whole life is sort of put on display in front of everyone. I know that is concerning. Someone die and then get on television and talk about it. At least members of your mom
Don.
That
your
they
daughter
may have
didn't
been
die,
through
but
this before.
it's gotta be
Deanna.
tough. You, Barbara, what family is going through at home?
I know, and that's it's hurt because of what happened to Shaheed, and which he died, and when they had kidnapped him. So I know this all hurt about everything.
This is Barbara. I understand the second time that your daughter went down to the area in Mexico for a medical. Did she at any point before say that she felt unsafe about it?
No, he didn't.
Listen, the CDC is warning against medical procedures outside of the country. They are calling it a level 4 warning, the State Department is. Do you have a message for other people who may be considering the same thing, Barbara?
That girl embarrassed. She embarrassed, and the little boy went to sleep. The girl in the yellow is embarrassed. The little boy went to sleep. Like this is debauchery. That's crazy. She's embarrassed. That's why she's looking the other way. She's embarrassed.
Thank you for saying that. Don Lemonhead should have rejected to the kids being present. They're too young to process this.
Hey, Houston,
Their
what's
older
up?
sister, she could probably process it a little better than them. That's why they wanted to get up. And why I thought my mic was up working, I wanted to shout some people out. I want to say shout out to JW, Final Say TV. Thank you for being here, brother. Patora Afro, thank you for being here. Mike B, thank you for being here. DOD, thank you for being here. Sister M Mills, thank you for being here. Tender Catering, thank you for being here. There was another brother that came. There was some other brothers that came into the chat. Give some love. Sister Yalfi's in the house. Thank you for being here. The infamous Styles 301. Now, next lesson here. Then there's a group in California called Bulldog.
How many times?
Don't like. They don't like them because they don't to any rules and regulations. With
good question. Good question.
And then you get gangs throughout the communities.
Good question.
And structures impact Black people, particularly in Los Angeles, California, where they attack us because the Mexican mafia has a green light. Now, let me show you what this is all about. This is a symbol that you better recognize very quickly, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Information Man Show. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
This symbol represents this black hand represents simply the Mexican mafia. So you will have guys that will have this tattooed on their body right here. Let me give you another display of it. The black hand. This is Mexican mafia stuff. This is stuff you need to learn. I've learned this stuff clearly. Gangs who defend the Mexican mafia, that's the street gangs. Now, right there, he has Fresno across his body. That means he's a Fresno Bulldog. Now, I told you that the Daños and the Sereños don't like these guys, but all these gangs will fall under one leadership faction, which is the Mexican mafia. So even though they don't like each other, they will still do the bidding of the Mexican mafia, which is the hierarchy in the system. You see, he's got the Bulldog tattoos on his body. This guy right here is an informant. This is Rene. He's in the penal system, I believe, here in California. You see, he's got the black hand symbol. This guy was an informant. He gave up evidence and gave up all the intel to impact the Mexican mafia. The Mexican mafia controls these gangs from Mexico because you have these street gangs that adhere to these. So you have it's called disruptive groups. Disruptive groups are the ones that are the street gangs that sell the drugs and do all the terroristic activity. This man right here, Rene, was a high up lieutenant or a high up recognized individual within the Mexican mafia gang system. He gave up evidence and spilled the beans. So he is considered no good. And in California, we have something called when you put guys in protective custody. You put them in protective custody. You put them on a yard where there's less stuff. Sensitive needs yard, they call it. These gangs operate in America, like the MS-13, who's another outlier. They operate and do the bidding and all the dirty work for these cartels in Mexico and South America. So when the South Americans bring over cartel force, and they act as enforcers. And they also in Los Angeles been trying to take over territory where black people live. There's no black and brown coalition, folks. This shit is serious. So you think that what just happened to those folks, nobody on YouTube is going to tell you what I'm telling you right now. Nobody, because they ain't studied it.
You have it.
Only people going to tell you this is people that didn't study it.
High crime rate.
One of those black folk is isolated just to black folks going to Mexico. No, these gang factions that work for the cartel, work for the Mexican mafia, adhere to their rules and regulations, have already said there's a green light on black folks in Los Angeles, California, when it comes to territory for controlling drug territory. Brown, the black. News. Let me show you something else. A couple years ago, folks. Let me take that off of there. This happened a couple of years ago. Wednesday morning, 500 law enforcement officers took to the streets of Los Angeles County in search of Mexican mafia gang members. The ripple effects could reach communities struggling to combat gangs. Why do you think we got all these gang problems in California and across the country? The ripple effect could reach communities struggling to combat gangs such as the Salinas in the Central Valley. Salinas in the Central Valley is in California. Central Valley is Central California. The operations was 4 years in the making and began on the cell block of LA County Jail. Those arrested during the operation, called Dirty Thirds, were among 83 suspected gang members charged by a federal grand jury in 2 indictments. The indictments detailed the power structure of Mexican mafia in its violent exercise of authority over primary Latino street gangs. What did I just tell you? They authority over street gangs across the country. I know this shit. That my job, I work mental health, but I'm required to learn these things. They teach because I'm dealing. You see these guys on the screen. See, a lot of people on YouTube talk about white supremacy, talk about gang stuff, and they talk. You see these guys on the screen here. I've actually been around these gang members in work capacity where I've talked to them. I've gone to their cell. I've had them in my groups. I've had to learn what the tattoos mean on their body. In the environment that I work in, I'm around guys like this. I know the mentality, not to mention the white supremacist groups. I'm repeating that because a lot of people on YouTube be talk about that, but they never even been around these type of people who actually exercise their hatred for us in real life. Some of the violence plays out on the street of northern gang strongholds such as the Salinas. In both locations, Nathaniels, as I told you before, rules the street. The clash comes when Southerners, Serranos, fight for a piece of the city, police said. And guess who's in the crossfires at? If black people are living in these communities where these street gangs are at, we get caught in the crossfires of this as well. Gangsters on the streets like Serranos provide for those in prison like the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility near San Diego. However, Serranos have moved more than Northerners have moved south. These are things you need to understand, lady. So when you say, hey, that's just an isolated situation where those black people went to the border, the gang structures that work for these cartels and the Mexican, they're on our streets of America. MS-13 is spreading itself all over the country. These are things we gotta recognize. And there is no black and brown coalition. And there ain't no people of color. You got to get out of that people of color talk. These folks in Mexico ain't looking at us as no people of color. They're looking at us as being in their way of their operations. And they've got their street gangs working their magic.
Gangs are here.
Let me show you
and
a
they're
picture of
part
these
the
two Mexican mafia
military
members.
complex.
These guys right here,
They've been
there was
here.
a, this
The
was in,
lies that the
these
Mexican
guys were part of a Orange County
Originate
faction of this Mexican mafia gang structure. These two dudes were rivals fighting for who's going to control that
Hold on.
particular.
Hold up. Now you say they've been here. He never said that they have not been here. He's just basically saying how he's basically saying that the ones that are here are still ran by the head guy in Mexico. That's what he's saying, Charles. He didn't say they originated here. He's just basically letting you know that they all in the same gang, all the same gang, all in the same gang. So their loyalty is to whoever the high guy is, where they at. Because you know certain things don't grow in America. Certain things don't grow in America. You got to go to Mexico and one of them other countries or continents where certain things grow. So, you know, you grow it there and they distribute it to their people here. So he's not saying, so we already know they did not originate here. He's just saying that you may think that they're fighting against each other, which I was saying before. You're going to have in-house fighting. But best believe they're going to get along. If it comes down to one of us, against one of them, you're going to think they ain't never had a fight ever. That's when they come together. See, that's what we don't do. We want to sit there all damn day and ruin each other's lives. We want to dox each other. We want to send people to people's house. We want to get people fired. Do you know if you get somebody fired from their job, you know how much? Do you know if them kids are hungry and it's because of you, you're gonna have some bad luck on your hands. You're gonna definitely have some bad luck on your hands. People, that's what we do. We destroy us. So what would somebody care about us for? Why would somebody care about us unless we're entertaining? Unless we're singing a song, you know what I'm saying? Unless we're doing a Super Bowl or a tour and we're entertaining them, that they don't even care about us then. But that's what they see us as, pure entertainment. Pure entertainment. Yeah, he draws it out, but that's because he's really good at what he do. So he got to put the evidence in there so you could see. Because we could just tell you anything, but it's better if you see it for yourself. Now somebody else made a good somebody else, check them out and let them know I sent you. But somebody else said something. So he's saying, without saying, okay, that was you. People missing at 1,000. Yeah, they shown that too, Miss Rod. So he's saying without saying, we don't know. Somebody said something about, what's that, Shantae? My Shantae Pooh, who said, so what happened the first time? Exactly. Did they go with her down there the first time? Did they go? And what happened? But that was a very good question to ask, Shantae.
Particular part of Southern California, Orange County. These pictures are real inmates. I see guys like this all the time in my own personal profession. This is a spill-off from what's happening in Mexico. So what's happening in Mexico is not simply isolated to the cartels.
You both said it.
It's spilling over into America.
Oh, you too,
Why?
Deanna?
Because again, America has a
Well, then maybe it
sensational
was you.
appetite, ladies and gentlemen,
Maybe it was you.
for drugs. Drugs is primarily what's fueling these
Tell
problems.
the truth.
I want y'all to understand that. They are fueling these problems. So these are tattoos that Mexican mafia members will have on their bodies. Or they'll have other symbolisms on their bodies, like you see these guys. Or this guy right here, who's high up in the Mexican mafia, who basically gave state evidence, and now he's considered a rat, according to the Mexican mafia or the gang structure. This shit is real. It ain't just isolated to Mexico. What they're doing in Mexico is spilling over into our borders. And y'all need to understand. If you get what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying, where I'm coming from, ladies and gentlemen, this information, man, hit a 7 in the chat room. Share the damn video. I appreciate you all here. I really do.
Tell the truth.
Now, as to the conclusion of today's program, I want you to hear the interview. It's a short interview with one of the 5th members of the group of Black people who went to Mexico, 2 that were deleted, 2 that survived, which was Eric Williams and Latavia McGee,
People
who
must research where
survived.
they're going.
And they're both lucky. But you had one sister who almost went over there, but didn't have proper identification to get in, and she feels very down. She also said in this interview, please don't look at them as bad people. True, we shouldn't
No,
look
why
at
would
people
you
as
say
bad
that?
people, but
Why would
we
you
also
say that?
should know. We should also recognize that these were not 4 Black people who went to Mexico who had clean backgrounds as it relates to drugs and all this other
But why
stuff
would
that
she
goes
say
on.
that?
But they still should have never been kidnapped and deleted in the first place. Let's hear what the young sister has to say right now.
Cheryl, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so sorry it's under these circumstances. How are you doing right now?
It's hard. I'm trying one day at a time. It's a lot to process.
Now she sounds
So
real.
you first actually alert authorities in Brownsville about that your friends were missing or hadn't made it back. Can you let's just start by telling us about why you and your friends were planning to go to Mexico?
Latavia is my best friend. She hit me up and asked me to join her, to accompany her in a trip to Brownsville, Texas for cosmetic surgery. And we began the road trip. We left out on Thursday and traveled to Texas. Once I got there, I was then informed that her procedure was being done across the border. In that event, we were just arriving in Brownsville, Texas at Studio 6. And
Studio
I
6?
didn't have proper identification, so I couldn't join her to go across to the border, which left me back at the hotel.
So because you didn't know you'd be
I looked at every.
you didn't know you'd be going out of the country, you didn't know you'd be going to Mexico, you didn't bring ID with you. Did you travel with
thoughts,
her
folks?
and
What are your
the others
opinions?
Yeah,
to
I-
Brownsville, or did you meet them there?
No, we all traveled together. It was a road trip.
So did you have any idea threats down in Matamoros or what it was like across the border?
Mm-hmm.
Or did Latavia?
No, sir, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not to my knowledge. I'm assuming that she didn't know because I know her. Like, she's not gonna travel to danger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She sound better than her mother.
Did you actually try to cross the border with them, or did you just before you?
Wait.
What I
any border area of Mexico
Mm-hmm.
off the beacon path, you are by default driving yourself into danger when you are a non-citizen of a country that you don't know really that much about. And there were already warnings. This is why you got to use critical thinking skills. You got to read news. You got to find out where you are going. It's just like when you take a trip anywhere in the world, you want to do research about the place that you're going and know what are the danger zones. Elise
didn't have my ID with me. They dropped me off at the hotel and said that they would return in 15 minutes. That's why I was so worried and in fear because it didn't seem right. 15 minutes had gone by. They were not there.
So how long did you wait after 15 minutes? I mean, that.
Now, see, this way the gravy get thicker, baby. You knew you was going somewhere and you just left your ID home, right? Your ID just walked right out of your wallet, right? Girlfriend knew what was going on. Allegedly. If something was going on, if is she was smart enough to take the ID out the wallet. Now, I could see if she would have been like, well, I had, made some purchases and I forgot to put my ID back in. I don't know where y'all at, but I know in New York, you have to keep ID with you. Hey, Miss Lee, my mom don't feel bad because the girl always making bad decisions. But I'm saying, it's just like out of nowhere, she knew that day to leave. It's like, you understand what I'm saying? But like I said, every state is different. But I know in New York, you better have your ID on you at all times. Every state you might not have to. I don't know. I can't speak for a lot of states. But she knew she was traveling. She knew she was going to Mexico. So she knew she needed ID. How did that just leave? Not the pocket, but how did they just leave your wallet? And they left you at what hotel? They left you at the hotel for what? See, with the friend, I don't know if she did that purposely or not. She was smart. She like, I ain't getting in this. If it goes down and it works, fine, I'm with you. But just in case it don't go down right, I'm leaving my ID home. I'm leaving my ID home. I'm going to check my pocketbook and be like, damn shit, I ain't got my ID.
It must have been agonizing.
When they dropped me off at the hotel, I had got into the shower. I showered and I laid on the bed. I think I was exhausted from, the long hours, the long ride. I had to fall asleep. And it was already 5
Thank you.
o'clock
Who
in the
travels
afternoon.
with no ID?
Let me say, peace and love to Kitty G in the house saying, who travels with no ID? You know, I'm so glad that you said that.
I said it first.
That to me doesn't make any sense. You're absolutely right. Who travels without ID? Like, look, when you travel, especially a country that needs a passport, it's my passport, you need to recognize that you need your passport if the country requires you to have a passport. You need ID. You need all these things, because if you get caught up in a pickle, nobody's going to know who you are. What if you get... Maybe I'm old. Maybe this is this generation doing things different. I'm a 53-year-old man, so maybe I'm talking like a damn father, and I don't have the brain of an immature young person who making reckless decisions. Anyway, maybe I'm wrong. Y'all tell me.
So from 9 to 5, I went down to the office, the clerk in the hotel, and I asked him, had my friends come back.
What's going on,
or
Brother
attempted
Robert?
to, you know, come in and
Brother
out the
Robert
hotel,
H.
come back to the hotel.
And JW?
And he told me no.
Hmm.
So I called my boyfriend.
Guys, help me out. I am confused. Is the hotel in United States or is the hotel in Mexico? I'm confused. She didn't say, hey, I couldn't cross the border. That woman ain't no spring chicken. I need some help on this one, guys. I need some help. Was the hotel room in United States or in Mexico? Could you just say you didn't have no ID? So where did they go? Where did they go that they needed ID, and where is the hotel? So after she got the procedure done, she was supposed to come back and stay at the hotel. I'm confused. She got me more than lost. I'm totally lost here. I'm just saying. Where's the hotel at that y'all all signed into, and you ain't got no ID? I'm just saying. Let's go.
Called Tay's brother, and I said something's in my room.
For saying that, Brother Tommy, she said she never planned to go to Mexico. That's right. She didn't think that they were going that. Let's hear it. Thank you, brother.
So something's right. 9 o'clock out here at night, and then we're into Saturday morning at 10:23.
Right. So, was she supposed to leave? No, ma'am. So they were supposed to get the thing done and go straight back to Texas in a hotel. Her and 4 guys to do what? I could understand the girlfriend there to help her. What was the men there for? Was they all 3 supposed to sit there while she get the operation? Or is it because she left her ID, the men went to help to bring her back to you? You better make this story sound a little bit more appealing to me. Exactly, Maderi. Yes, ma'am. She was still in the spot. Allegedly. Everything I say here is alleged. We don't know. This is a tragedy. Regardless of what they thought, they can trust them people in Mexico. And this is what happened. It doesn't matter if it was a thing gone wrong. The thing is, even if they went to go take care of business for the wrong reasons, they still trusted them people there. And look what happened. They probably didn't want to buy, you know, they probably was letting them, they probably wanted like their own connect. Maybe they spoke to them. Maybe they act like, you know, they were going to get along. Maybe she was going to get a tummy tuck. And then she said, somebody said something about the hospital, but she wasn't going to stay in the hospital out there because the friend is in Texas in a hotel. So she was supposed to go straight from the tummy tuck, straight back to Texas. And why would you take that long ass ride and never check to see if you had ID? Girl, y'all better make the story sound better to me. Could be, Maderi. Could be.
It's literally a few minutes before checkout. I'm like, there's no way. I called the cops immediately.
Everybody, I said we want to examine this from both sides of the angle. Do you think, as you see on the screen, do you think this was a drug deal that gone back wrong? And let's say maybe the cosmetic surgery was on the menu of things that they were going to do as a side piece. But do you think it was just a drug deal gone bad, or just because the reports in the news, if you believe it, is that the cartel is claiming that they thought that these black people were a rival gang or a rival gang of Haitians.
What?
Where would they get that at? When the cartel put that letter out saying that that's not what they do. They don't go after tourists. That's what they say. So why would the cartel see them as a rival? That's a question you got to think about to yourself and talk about it in the chat room, what you think. Let's get.
So while they're screaming, no, you didn't real, nah. Y'all gonna have to give me a better story than this. Cause so it's your rival gang. So the people from Haiti leaves Haiti to come to Mexico to beef with you guys, right? And you're thinking it's the people from Haiti. Like they don't have an accent. If y'all got beef with them Haitian people or whatever, you know what they accents sound like. You know what they accents sound like. Don't worry, we almost finished.
And I know you had their luggage, you had their things. Is that right?
I had 3 of the 3 male victims' belongings. I retrieved it after it became 11 o'clock.
At what point did you learn about what had actually happened? When did you see the video?
They sent it to me, I think it had to be like between Saturday night and Sunday morning, like the wee hours.
What did you think when you saw that? I mean,
I dropped the phone. My body clenched up. I dropped the phone.
A really good point by JD. I think that if that were the case, that it was a drug deal gone bad, the FBI who brought them back would know that. How would they know that though? This all happened on Mexican soil, which, keep this in mind, the FBI, the police, the America has no jurisdiction in Mexico. And you heard me play Judge Joe Brown on Real Dana show, where he said that America's been subsidizing these damn cartels because they have these black ops relationships. So I'm just asking as a question. How would the FBI know anyway that it was a drug deal gone bad if they weren't even there in the first place to witness what exactly happened? Just like we got Shaquilla Robinson, who still hasn't gotten any justice for what happened to her on Mexican soil. In this case, by other Americans who harmed her. In this case, it was Mexicans, Mexican citizens. For the argument and discussion.
Oh, my stomach was in knots. And I just began praying. I just began praying for the return of them. I didn't know much about the cartels, and I started looking up videos, and it was bad. It was bad. I began to think the worst, and just thank God for her daughter, her 18-year-old daughter, Tay's daughter. She held me together. She held me together. She made me keep faith.
Have you talked to her since? How have you been able to talk to Latavia? Have you talked to her daughter? How is she doing?
Yeah, me and her daughter speak every so many minutes. And yes, I have spoken to Tay. It put me at ease a little bit. It was music to my ears to hear her voice.
This is a good point right here. The cartel would not leave witnesses if the drug deal gone bad. They would get rid. I gotta be honest. I don't think they would want to leave witnesses anyway. And you know, this is a town where ain't nobody gonna squeal on the cartel because they're concerned about retribution. So I think that's a very good point. That if it was, and see, I opened up this show asking that question: was this really about them going over there for the cosmetic surgery? Or was there something else going on? You know, that's just thinking critically. And this is thinking critically right here, Kendra G. Thank you for sending this. The cartels would not leave witnesses if the drug deal went bad. But I get what you're saying, but hell, the cartel just left their own people out there. What's that about? I've never seen it. Look, folks, I've never seen this happen before. You've never seen this happen before. When the last time have you heard of the cartel giving up their own people like this? It doesn't normally happen. And leaving letters talking about they apologize. Huh? Let's be honest. Everything about this doesn't make sense. You got to question everything. Yeah, cartels normally, at least that's what we think, because we've been watching movies and television shows. We think that they usually wouldn't leave anybody alive if there was something like that. But then they jump out the window and leave an apology letter, which the news claims is authentic. We don't know. Then the cartel jumps out the window and put their men out there, and you got one laughing. Why is he laughing? What is that about? Because maybe he knows they ain't gonna do no serious time because the cartels control the state police in Mexico and control the police and control the prison system. Why would they put their men out here on Front Street? Huh? It's something to think about. Literally on Front Street and figuratively on Front Street.
What do you want to know about Latavia and the others, your friends?
Oh, it fell again.
I'm wondering too if they the guys that did it.
I want the world to leave us alone and stop being mean. I want them to have a heart because everyone has a past.
That's true.
What happened to her wasn't right. She didn't deserve it. She's a beautiful person. When I spoke to Latavia yesterday, she said, thank you. She told me thank you and that she was worried about her. This lady was facing death damn near. And she said, I was worried about you.
She said she was worried about you.
I love her. She's the best. Right?
Wow.
She's a beautiful.
Tell the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of things. We have a few things to talk about here before I end this stream today. And I appreciate you all in the chat room, everyone that's come out, showed out, and expressed themselves. But we got a few things to talk about. There's something that does not add up about this situation. People are making very good points. The cartel wouldn't leave anybody alive if it was a drug deal gone bad. That's at least what we think. And as I said before, I've never in my life heard of a cartel apologizing, leaving their men on the streets out there to be apprehended. Have you? Has anything ever been documented like this before? Something's not right. Then we've had people in the chat room that are saying, are they the real people? Because I think Joe Brown said this. Do I need to play that just a little bit of that again? Just a little bit of that again.
There is no basis for an American extradition because no crime was committed on American soil. We don't have a connection with it. It's like, for example, if somebody killed a Mexican tourist in America, would America extradite an American citizen to Mexico to get tried by the Mexican authorities, or would they try that person here in the United States? Answer, they try the person here in the United States. I don't know where some of these folk get the idea that we can just come in and run roughshod over everybody.
This is Judge Joe Brown.
Over their law. See, we don't have any jurisdiction in Mexico. And this whole dodge about we want to declare these groups to be terrorist organizations. Well, we've been subsidizing them for a long time.
Said we've been subsidizing them for a long time, all the way back to Ronald Reagan, Contra scandal. And the United States has black operations where they've had to work. They have actually worked with some of these cartels. Even in Colombia, when you had Escobar, you had the United States CIA and all these operatives working with these drug kingpins. You see, he's speaking truth.
And there are various reasons why, from raising funds for black ops, which means those things that were supposed to be directed toward fighting commies, and now international terrorism and all of that other.
Tell the
You see what he's saying?
Mm-hmm.
So let's figure this out here.
Jag, a nice letter.
Are these the real guys that did, or are they laughing?
Said that she was
As you
getting
can see this thing here,
she got
because they are
nerves.
saying, hey, we ain't the real guys, or we're not going to be doing any serious time. Let's look at the guy in the red shirt. He's got a little bit of a smirk on his face too. Folks, the cartel is doing this as show, and this is nothing but a dog and pony show. The cartel is running interference in manipulation by telling these guys to go out there, lay on your butt, turn yourself in, knowing that they're not going to be by American court. They're going to be under the jurisdiction of a Mexican government or Mexican law enforcement, which the cartel controls. As I said earlier in the show. Don't forget, Shaquilla Robinson still has yet to get justice out of Mexico. Okay? Let's tell the truth and stop, playing around here. Shame the devil.
Tell the truth.
Let's see what people are saying here. Creed says this is the same weird stuff going on. Right, Creed. It's all a joke. Well, let me just say this. I feel bad, despite their criminal backgrounds. I feel bad that you had two brothers that are no longer here. They've been deleted. I feel bad, despite Latavia's shortcomings with her kids and stuff and her background. She still didn't, as her friend said on that interview with Anderson Cooper, she didn't deserve what happened to her. Not at all. Eric Williams, the other brother who survived and was in the hospital, he's got family, he's got kids. Despite his background, cocaine and all this other stuff he was doing, he didn't deserve what happened to him. They didn't deserve what happened. Nobody deserves this. But you got to be more intelligent to realize that you're going into another country with people that don't know you. You're going into their border towns, which are dangerous. You're bringing cash, you're bringing debit cards, you're bringing all these things that they're watching Americans come into border towns. A border town is not the same as being on your quote unquote vacation where you're going to the tourist spots. I know because I've been over there a few times, touristing, not going to border towns by myself or with a group of my friends talking about we're going to go get some cosmetic surgery. We're going to go into it known to be in Mexico and these other countries. They're not taking these cartel areas. I'm almost ready to say that black people, especially after what happened to Shaquilla Robinson and not getting justice over there so far, maybe black people, maybe we should stay the hell out of Mexico. And I know we should get to where we want to go, but maybe we should put we should boycott going to Mexico, black people. Maybe we shouldn't spend our money, go over there, nothing. Especially if they're not held accountable for what happened to the two black men. See, we gotta wait and see. Are they going to try those cartel members for deletion of those two black men, plus the kidnapping? And will they get heavy in this there? Remember, they're cartel members. Dr. What's going on? Did I miss him? Yeah, that's my man. Book of Alpha Raleigh Brothers, the BOA, especially if black guys check him out. He's hip you to a lot of knowledgeable things. Very knowledgeable brother, very intelligent brother, well-spoken brother, tells it like it is, doesn't cut any corners. Check him out. Got a big channel over there. Go and check him out. Thank you for the $25 super chat. Appreciate that commentary on the platform. And as a result, we got
Blue. Hey. 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 Hopefully you guys enjoyed that hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We will be definitely staying on top of this and some more. Left chat. So I am out of here. I'm going to bed. But we're going to stay on top of this case and some more cases. And y'all know when something is good over there, I'm going to see y'all on the other side. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. Ms. Lee, y'all, I'm going to hit you up later. And you guys have a beautiful night. I just got to bring my kiss over here, but I ain't got it over here yet. So, mwah! Nighty night. Thank you. Peace out, guys. Until next time.